drawing expressive characters, but without a mouth. Let's jump into it. Hello, my name is Jade, and I like to paint with pixels. So today's video is going to be a bit more chill, and we're going to be chatting about one of my characters, Ferne, and how I'm trying to make them more expressive in my drawings. There's two main reasons for why I'm giving this a go. I've mentioned about how I'd like to draw more of my characters in these videos, so this felt like a good practice for that. And secondly, I mentioned in my last video about drawing portraits that I would like to try and draw the same subject but from different angles to help understand how to represent likeness of a character. And I thought that drawing a much more simplified character that I've already drawn a few times feels like a nice stepping stone before I try to draw a way more complicated subject. In terms of expressions and what expressions I'm going to be drawing today, I wanted to explore a good range of emotions, so I made a little list of the emotions that I'd like to convey, and those are happy, sad, angry, scared, embarrassed, and bored. I wanted to see how well I can convey these expressions, mainly using just the eyes and eyebrows of my character. The character that I'll be drawing is Ferne, which is my little bear character, and you've probably seen her in a few of my videos in the past, and a few of my past drawings as well. She's the main character that I'm most familiar with drawing because she's also the first character that I designed. I think a good question to ask is, how did my characters end up not having a mouth, or at least a visible mouth in the first place? And honestly, at first, I just couldn't get it to look right. This partially stems from when I was first trying to draw proper portraits, and I could never seem to get the lips right in pixel art. And I feel like I'm slowly getting there with the practice that I'm doing now. But at the time, I just ended up removing them, and I kind of just stuck with it. When I was initially drawing Ferne, it was at a pretty small scale as well, and so I had to simplify some of the features because otherwise they would seem a bit too big in proportion with the rest of the face, and so eventually I ended up just keeping the eyes quite big and then removing the mouth entirely. In terms of like the lore behind my characters, they do have mouths, but it's just not really visible in the drawings, and I still think it makes sense because, like, how else are they gonna enjoy their snacks? I can't have my drawings not enjoy some good snacks, you know? But in past drawings, I've also been playing around with using speech bubbles to help convey emotions as well. Not directly through words, as I think that would take up too much room to make the text legible in the canvas sizes that I normally use, but through symbols like hearts and exclamation marks, that sort of thing. And originally I put them above the character, and sometimes I still do that, like for example with the little happy exclamation lines in the first sketch. I've started to add a little speech bubble over in the symbol and give an extra opportunity to use each of the characters' sort of signature color so that it better differentiates who is expressing what emotion when there are multiple characters in the same scene. Something that I've noticed from drawing pixel art in the past, and that's become really apparent here, is how much every pixel counts, especially at a small scale. Making really small adjustments, like adding 1 or 2 pixels, can completely change the expression. Like switching the direction of the brows. If they point inwards, it can make the character look angry, but if they point outwards, it makes the character look more sad. And the same with adjusting the size of the eyes. When the eyes are really small in proportion to the rest of the face, they can look really scared, but if you keep the same shocked eyebrows, but make the eyes bigger, they look more surprised or embarrassed, which I guess is a similar emotion to scared, but I don't know, I guess it's like they have the same main genre of emotion, but then they're in their own little subcategory of shocked or scared. It definitely falls more into the cartoon style of like really exaggerating their emotions, but I think it works quite well here, especially because we don't have all the parts of an expression like a regular face does. Even with all of that though, I think some of the principles can still be taken into account when drawing expressions for more realistic characters too, and I'm excited to put that into practice on my weekdaily drawings as well. One small detail that I like to do is match the expression of the character to like the little face on their animal head as well. It's a much smaller canvas than the main face, but it's a fun little challenge to try and capture the same expression, but with less pixels. Out of all of the expressions that I've done so far, it's quite hard to pick a favourite. I quite like the sad one because I think that's the most expressive, but the angry and bored expressions are quite fun to do because I feel like they're quite out of character for Ferne. I've always seen her as having a really cheery and bubbly personality that's quite outgoing, so it's interesting to see what these other expressions could look like on her. With a bit of tidying up and some last decorations in the background, I think this page is done. I really enjoyed trying this practice out, and I'll definitely be trying it again with some of my other characters as well. Let me know which expression is your favourite in the comments down below. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care out there. Goodbye!